Good morning, Stampers. Happy Monday and welcome to Maker Mornings with Meg, the Monday edition, LovenStamps video tutorials on card making. So if you were just on a second ago and you had to jump on again, sorry about the sorry about the blip, but I'm excited to share a project with you that uses a really fun set of supplies. So we are going to do a technique, I'm calling it inverse stamping. So it's kind of like a faux look technique where you stamp, right? You have an image here, like these little flowers from the perennial set, and you stamp them and you get a line and then you can color and so forth. But the look of our project with the inverse stamping, maybe it should be faux inverse stamping, is actually you get no line. You get the color, but without the line. So it's really cool the way it turns out. And so I wanted to show you guys this technique, not difficult, just uses some of the tools that you might have on hand. So morning guys, hi Pam and Elaine and Sally and Teresa and Trish and Vicky, Sue, everybody. Oh good, I jumped on a second ago and there was nobody on. So I think that I think sometimes Facebook doesn't display. So if you're not sure when to find these Maker Morning with Meg videos, we are Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. And I think, what is that, like GMT -5? Something like that. Anyway, here on the LovenStamps Facebook page, we are live, and then you can watch replays here on LovenStamps Facebook page or on LovenStamps YouTube channel. So everybody's welcome to watch. So Donna and Deborah, glad you guys are here too. So much fun. And Sue's tuning in from another place. So I hope it's sunny where you are too, Sue. It's sunny here at home. So, all right. Are you guys ready to see some stamping? We have fun stuff. We have Versamark. We have blending brushes. We have punch tips on how to get things lined up for easy punching. And I have a peek. I was going to say a sneak peek, but it's not a sneak peek because it's absolutely available now, of this amazing designer series paper, which you may or may not be aware of yet. So it's all fun colors on one side and all black and white on the other, which is, of course, you guys know, one of my favorites, the black and white paper. So I'll talk a little bit more about that and how you can get it for almost the half price. So it's a really good deal. All right, so let's flip you guys down here. And I know I just teased a ton of information. If I forget to come back to any of it, make sure you call me on it. Like, hey, Meg, you promised to tell us about the paper and you haven't told us yet. So, all right. I think we're just a teeny bit crooked there. Okay, that's better. All right, I'm gonna get this set up here so I can see. And Pam says she loves that paper. It is really pretty. I actually just opened mine this morning, so I'm kind of excited about it. Okay, so our faux inverse stamping project. I grabbed a stamp set for this called Perennial of Flowers of Friendship. Oh, I just like totally labeled it wrong in everything that I wrote, and I think it's wrong in the video description. Or in the description, is a supply list, so I'll get that fixed. But it is Flowers of Friendship, which has these images here along the side that match up with the coordinating punch, like this, okay? And one of the things I love about punches is that they're super fast and easy to use. So you can make like whole gardens with very little effort. So instead of stamping in like black or stamping in pink, I'm gonna go ahead and stamp in Versamark, okay? And I know everyone's like flabbergasted that my Versamark pad is so ugly and dirty, but it still works great, which is a testament to its fabulousness. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp here in my with my flowers. Now you might notice I have these two mounted on the same block. I'm going to tell you about that in a second, but I'm going to show you why it matters. You always want to make sure that you look at which way your punch is going to reach into your paper. So if my punch is reaching in this way, then I obviously want to make sure that that small flower is stamped at the bottom where I can reach it. Does that make sense? So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to need 3 sets of flowers on here. So I'm stamping with Versamark, which is a clear, vaguely sticky ink. Okay. And then I'm going to cap this up, because the next thing I'm gonna do, I promise they're on there. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. The next thing I'm gonna do is grab a piece of scrap paper just out of my recycling bin and set this here because I'm going to open up my embossing powder. And the embossing powders come in a set of neutrals and a set of metallics, which is nice because it's always frustrating when you have one but not the other. Like you do a card and you're like, oh, I need silver. Oh shoot, I only have gold. So I'm gonna just dump mounds of powder on there, see how much I used, most of the container. And then I'm just gonna tip this over and give it just a little tap, a little flick. And now, hopefully you can see that my powder is still on there. Can you guys see that? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. So then what do you do with that extra powder? You dump it back in the container. So there are 3 steps to heat embossing. You stamp with a sticky ink, you add the powder, and then you melt it. And that's gonna go back in my recycling bin, so I'm not gonna worry too much about getting it all off. So 3rd step is melting, which you do with a heat tool, which is much, much hotter than a hair dryer. It's not like a hair dryer. They used to come with directions for stripping paint like 20 years ago when I started. And so basically you flip it on and keep your fingers out of the way. And then I always like to heat emboss from the side at an angle like this so that I can see when my powder is melting. Now, we used heat and stick powder the other day, and heat and stick powder is a little tricky because you have to be careful not to over melt it. It's really different from the embossing powder. But the nice thing about the embossing powder is you really can't over melt it. You would have to work really hard to do that. Can you kind of see that? So see, as the powder is melting, those flowers are showing up on there. So you want to just go ahead and give it a good set of time to make sure that it's all melted. There we go. Okay, and then I think you guys can actually see that. But you're gonna see it really well here in a moment, because what I'm gonna do next, I usually like to just make sure that my powder's all melted. I'm gonna take my polished pink, which is one of the new in colors, and a blending brush, and here is where the faux inverse stamping comes in, because what we're gonna end up with is color with an absence of a line. I mean, we know the line's technically there, but I'm gonna wipe with my blending brush, and then I'm gonna swirl on my flower. All right, and you see how that comes out? So now it's basically, the ink will not stick to the paper where our embossing powder is, and we'll get this nice vivid color from the blending brush with the kind of lighter around. So we're getting a nice sort of ombre kind of flower and a really, really cool effect. I never get tired of seeing this on different things. So what do you guys think? Lovely, right? So you could do this inverse stamping or faux inverse stamping as like a background. You could, do the whole background of your paper and cover it all up. But we're gonna do ours actually as an accent here. So remember, I told you that those were specially placed on the block so that I could punch them. So now I can go here and line them up, and check it out. I'm punching both at the same time. Now, watch the leaves. Usually I separate these. We're not gonna use the leaves, but I think I've managed, nope, not quite. So I need to just split these into pieces, there we go, so that I don't accidentally punch off pieces with the side leaves. So you could, if you wanted the leaves also, you could certainly arrange the leaves on your block too, but check out these gorgeous flowers. Oops, and then if you've gotten them so far up that you can't reach them, we're just gonna take off the bottom there, and then you can reach in. If you haven't used the Stampin' Up! Punches before, I don't ever use mine this direction. I always use it this way. I like to hold it in my hand because I feel like it's the best control. And since I'm right-handed, I hold in my right hand and place the paper with my left. So there, when I get it lined up, then I take both hands and I pinch to squeeze that and cut the paper, okay? All right, okay, Meg, that's great, but how did you magically line up those stamps on your paper? Well, that's a good question. Okay, so in my stamp case, I keep little bits of old projects, but I also keep a mat. Now this is just a piece of basic black cardstock, nothing special. I started it off by just punching it. So shoop, and punched, and then just save this, okay? Because what I wanna do now, let's say, let me get this clean. Okay, let's say that I hadn't mounted my stamps and I'm like, oh, I wanna try Meg's trick. That looked really slick that she could punch all the flowers at once. Now, how did that work? So you're gonna need a mat, and then what you're gonna do is you're going to tuck the stamps in the mat. Now, I'm doing this little wiggle. It's like a little butt wag because I want to feel that stamp drop into the groove in the paper. All right, and then I'm gonna do the other one, and these are really close together, so you might have to turn to find a combination where the extra red rubber doesn't get in the way, but I'm gonna kind of do the little wiggle, a little wiggle, and then I'm gonna put my finger on there to get it set. Speaking of butt wiggle, somebody wants to go outside. My dog, let me be clear. So now they're both set in there in the grooves of the mask. And so now I know that when I stamp these, then I can go in and punch them without having to, like, you know, punch once for every flower. Okay, so it's a really efficient way to use your paper and your time. All right, so good trick to remember. Okay, so now what are we gonna do with these gorgeous flowers here from our Flowers of Friendship set? Well, first of all, we're gonna let the dog outside. 1 second. All right, Pepper. All right, then after we let the dog out, I'm going to bring in my mini Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to pop one on the center of each of our large flowers, and then peel the backings and pop that second flower over the top. So you could certainly use these as individual flowers, but I really like this. I'm glad you like the dog reference, Tanya. And then I'm going to line these up. Okay, so these are super cute little accented flowers, aren't they, darling? And they use our faux inverse stamping technique, okay? All right, so now what to do with these? I have this new greeting set that I have been looking at for ever since it arrived. It was in one of my first orders from the new catalog. I'm really excited about it. And it gives you this sort of double effect with these two fonts. And it's super trendy, so to have these kinds of mix and match. So I decided I was gonna bring that in here on some kind of like label piece. And I was flipping through what label to use and decided that Stitch So Sweetly and this rectangle here would be the perfect accent. It's got that scallop, it's got a stitch line, so it's a little dressy, goes with our little bit fussy flowers. And this rectangle would fit any of these perfectly. So I do love my Stitch So Sweetly elements. Okay, so I have one die cut already from my basic white cardstock. And then I'm going to bring in, we'll make a birthday card here. Now, I have to tell you, I tried like 3 or 4 different versions of the greeting for this, and I'll show you them at the end, and we can talk about why I picked the ones that I did. Or you might agree, or you might disagree, so I'll show you the other options. But morning, Diane. Hi, New Jersey. We have friends in New Jersey right now visiting family, so. Okay, so I'm gonna use my polished pink again, and I'm gonna stamp my happy here kind of towards the center. There we go. And then I'm gonna bring in Memento Black because I have this inkling that we're gonna wanna do a black and white contrast kind of card. And I'm gonna bring in birthday, and I'm gonna stamp it just a little below the midline. So that we still have a really nice happy, which is very visible, and then the birthday a little below the midline so that it doesn't obscure quite so much, okay? All right, so we're coming together. We have some greeting, or so we have a greeting, we have some flowers. The base for our card is going to be the thick basic white. Now remember, when you use the thick cardstock, it's a little bit heavier than the regular. The reason I like this for the white is usually a little thinner than a regular piece of cardstock, and so the thick really just adds to the sturdiness of a card. So I have this kind of set up there. All right, and then let's kind of do our little trial placement, right? That's kind of how I like to go through my cards, figuring out what goes together, what it needs. Okay, so cute, right? But there's not a lot of contrast between our label and our back piece. So I decided I would stick with the black and go ahead and bring in a piece of basic black cardstock. Okay, so also nice and coming together. But you know what? I don't love the starkness. Like there's no pattern or texture or anything on this black. So I thought, oh, what am I gonna do? And then I remembered, oh my goodness, I have that whole package, so 12 by 12 paper of Pattern Play card or designer series paper. And this is actually a host item. So usually when you host a party, or if you have a large order and you earn Stampin Rewards, I'm gonna move that, and you earn Stampin Rewards, you can also pick this paper as a host exclusive item. And the great thing about host exclusive items is that they are super discounted compared to the prices in the catalog. So actually almost half price. So I'm gonna flip to the back of the book and show you where to find these. If you're like, wait, I didn't know about those. So back here, we're at page 170 and 171. There's a little host chart, and it says like party sales, Stampin' Rewards, and then you can even earn half price items if your order is $4.50 or more. So these apply if you host a party, and I'd be happy to do a virtual party for you. Could get together like as a Facebook party or a Zoom meeting with you and your friends, and I can send you kits and we can stamp. It's a lot of fun. Ask me if you're interested. Or if you just know what you want from like watching videos and flipping through the catalog, you can get these host exclusive items when you place a large order at one time. So as long as your order is $150, then you would earn an extra 10% bonus in free stuff. So for example, you could pick the Pattern Party paper, which is a $30 retail value because there are 48 sheets of paper here, but is only $18 as a host or a Stampin' Rewards item. So ask me if you have questions about earning those, but there are some other stamp sets and so forth too. And I haven't checked for a while. I'm pretty sure that you would have to have at least $18 of host exclusive or of credit, of Stampin' Rewards credit to pick this one. I don't think you can go over, but anyway, good options here. So I'll leave you that, because on the back of this is all black and white paper. And so I picked this pattern here to use with our paper here. So here is our black and white, and I love the way this matches up. So I'm going to pop this here onto my basic black and put these back on. And what do you guys think? Are you loving that? I kind of am. Okay, so now I am going to show you a different version of this white tag that I did, and I don't know if I like it. So here's a different version of the white tag, and on this one, so this little perennials Flowers of Friendship set has these little cute leaves here, and I didn't put any leaves on our card. So I was trying to decide how to get them on there, and I decided I could take my little leaf and I could stamp it on my tag. So here's the version with and without the little tags or the little leaves. So I don't know, do you guys like it? Do you think add the leaves? Do you think just leave it black and white with just the flowers and no leaves? I think I might do one with and one without. We'll see. Okay, so let's go ahead and stick this stuff down, and then I'm gonna show you my extra embellishment, hint, hint. So I'm gonna bring my adhesive in here, my Stampin' Seal, and pop some here on my layers. And then I think I'm gonna pop up our whole black and white grid and put it here. Sue says, how about leaves on the white border? And let's see. So we had a vote for leaves on the white border, a couple votes without the leaves. I'm kind of liking it without the leaves. Well, maybe I'll put it on like as a poll later, this or that. I'll do a this or that, with the leaves or without the leaves, and you can vote on the Facebook page. All right, so I'm gonna pop this down here. And then I'm gonna bring back in my one without, and I need to remember that the flowers have to fit down here. So, and I think I'm gonna overlap them, like get them pretty well overlapped there. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay, so that when they stay that way, I'm going to flip them over the back, and I've been teaching you guys this a bunch lately, but you can overlap your pieces and then stick them together with dimensionals. That way they stay where you want them to when you're doing your placement. So, okay, this is gonna go flat because otherwise our flowers are gonna end up too tall. And this is designed to go this way. All right, so sticking this down, adding our flowers back, and then we have one flower left to go on this top corner. So pop one more dimensional on there. And then we have our jewels. So these are the in color jewels. Sorry, they go this way in the package. And I'm gonna pop on, you know, I did pink ones on my other flowers, I think. Should I do a different? Nope, I'm sticking with pink. Going with the monochromatic here. And I'm gonna pop these, I'll pick larger jewels for this one. So there are my little accents for our birthday card. And they really kind of make that color jump there. So, all right, what do you guys think? Leaves these on is distracting to the words. I'm with you guys. Okay, so the vote is no leaves. I'm with you. So here would be with the leaves. Yep, too much. Here's without the leaves. Okay, so now you guys, I'm pretty sure you're gonna think like me, you know, for these other ones. But I also thought, you know, what if we added another color to our greeting? So here's one where I added the greeting in pale papaya. And there's that choice. I might like it better without the leaves, but I still feel like the pale papaya is distracting. So that one, not so much. And then I was thinking, ooh, what if we didn't do like any color? What if we did a grayscale? And I used, smoky slate for our greeting and put this on here. And then I felt like it just went too far into the background. So really, the word happy needs to be pink to emphasize the fact that it's a happy birthday, right? So I thought I'd show you those though, just so you kind of get an idea. A lot of times when I'm designing cards, I'll kind of work through a process to figure out exactly what I want to happen and kind of try out different combinations to see what I think. So do you guys agree? Is this the greeting that you would have picked? Would you like one of these other ones, the grayscale or the one with a pale papaya? I do love a good pale papaya color item, so I really wanted that to work, but I really think the pink is the best choice. So, all right, leave comments if you guys have other choices. I'm always happy to hear suggestions. And that will get us covered for our Monday morning. So I hope that you guys really like this faux inverse stamping technique and the chance to really it's a kind of startling kind of thing. We have the nice sort of ombre flowers with different amounts of shading on them. And then when you look at an image that's stamped and it's white with the pink around it, it's just a little different than kind of the normal. So here's a little bit of like normal. Actually, this one's stamped color on color. So there are a lot of different ways that you can use this stamp set. And with the punch, it's just really quick to try different combinations. So it's a lot of fun. All right, well, thank you guys for visiting with me this morning. Yeah, everybody's kind of with the pink and the black. Good choices, I think. But thank you guys for joining me this happy Monday morning, and I hope that you've enjoyed our card and that you have some fun things planned for your week. So this is, we're getting towards the end of the school year. I know lots of people are visiting with family and stamping with littles and things like that. If you are looking for any particular ideas for things coming up this summer, favors or events or stamping with littles, let me know. I'm always happy to have suggestions for things you guys would like to see. So thank you for joining me this morning. Happy Monday. I hope you have a terrific week, and I will see you again on Wednesday and Friday for more videos. So happy stamping, guys.